What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 7 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Tyrion Old World, Immortal Empires and Expanded campaign. So as we saw last time, Ingmir, the little convoy that could, he and his Bretonnian and Wood Elf auxiliaries managed to defeat two armies, one of them a full stack under Gentleman Jenkins, a rogue army facing off against his half stack. And just barely, we managed to eke out a win and keep the convoy truck and flow and move, whatever. Yeah, I don't know if it will survive to reach the end of its journey, but it was some damn good fights out of it. Obviously, that wasn't the only stuff that happened. Tyrion drew the Sword of Khaine thereafter in his rage and decided to attack whatever was in his path, including Dastan Coldeye, another rogue army out at sea. Though admittedly, it was also a good move in the sense that it will hopefully keep further convoys safe, and we may want to send more sort of seagoing armies out there, like Cadril. Make use of those ardent princesses with that massive upkeep reduction to essentially be able to patrol the seas and, you know, keep our traders safe. It's kind of the whole point. Anyway, in terms of what we got to do this time, Tyrion is looking to go after Bellicor. I don't know whether we can land here. Actually, by the looks of those, probably not. But at the very least, move close towards him, and, oh, actually, it's more or less a new turn. So there's a lot of stuff to do, so let's start doing. Tyrion, I guess we're starting with you then, sir. Go right here. Let's see if we can't land. Come on. And... No it dies. Alright, fair enough. You can go into Lilith's Bussingen Channel, you might as well, and, oh, I suppose then, the Handmaiden. You're going to go into Renown, we're getting you Retinue Quartermaster. Might as well go through Retinue Valet as well then. And then into Retinue Physician. This will at least reduce somewhat. Actually, that barely reduces it at all. We still lose like 20 units, 19 units. Huh. I guess it was only minus 15%, but dang, that ain't so great. Oh well, what can you do? Oh, we do have the choice between favored by Isha, favored by Khaine, and favored by Hoeth. The vigor loss reduction -4 isn't too much, but it can stack with other stuff. I'm tempted to just go for favored by Isha. Yeah, the weapon strength increase is great. It'll make you hit a lot harder at the cost of a little bit of melee defense, and kind of makes sense if Tyrion drew the sword. But at the same time, this army's going to be fighting a lot, and the extra post-battle loot may be quite nice. And at the same time, this guy being frugal will eventually... Oh, that's another issue, though. It'll eventually most likely go to another army. Do you have a way to increase your... Yes, you do. You can get 20% weapon strength out of Woundmaker. Valor of Ages will give you another 8%. So, favored by Khaine, yeah, you can be hitting pretty darn hard on that eagle. You know, I'm going to wait on it. I feel like I may go for the weapon strength even at the cost of the melee defense. The main thing is it depends on which mount you're going to be using. I don't care that much about the weapon strength if you're eventually going to end up on foot, but you have a lot of mount options, so again, it does depend. Anyway, I believe you're stuck where you are, Tyrion, so let's move on. Alistar, now you, I believe, are moving to Rarm here. Minor issue, we are in March stance. If we go into this stance, we won't be able to reach him next turn, or at the very least he'll run away, so I think we'll risk March stancing all the way up here to Mistnar. And if he attacks us, he attacks us. We do have some anti-large in the White Lions. They don't have a lot of anti-large, but with the buffs that they have, and the fact that these guys won't have that many large units, I think we'll be fine, even if they ambush us while in March stance. But it's not like we have ranged units in that army to complain about the whole ambush situation. Ew, Cadril, go grab that mysterious island, please. And Fortified Grog once again. Is that a third Curse of Cannibalism in a row? It is. It's a third Curse of Cannibalism. I'm starting to get concerned about Catril. If she ends up joining the community canon, we gotta work that in. I don't see any other islands nearby. I do see Sloppy Crookshank. I guess we could go close to here, though that will identify Morgar to us. Let's go here. We'll see what Sloppy Crookshank does next turn. I don't want to go directly towards him like this. Any islands nearby? I don't see him. And, oh, we got something at Bilbali. Melee defense while at sea. Bell Tower of Bilbali. This is from one of the, landmark mods. Oh, I guess the one landmark mod that we're using in this particular in this particular campaign. If you're wondering why this one, I don't remember which one it is, but it's listed in the description. Basically, I took a look at the 3 or 4 of them, the main ones that people tend to subscribe to in the workshop, and this one seemed like the least overpowered by far. So a couple of the others were just insanely overpowered, and as you guys know, I don't like the whole overpowered thing, so yeah. Anyway, Kevin, you're done recruiting for now, guys, so we're gonna head you back to Lothern, as you will get more exalted units on field now, since you're no longer needed at Evershell. Now, Mr. Bellinaire, I would like you to move this way. Yeah, I guess you can move past Phoenix Gate. You are going to deliver these guys to Tyrion. Arathon, you are not really able to move. What about you? Oh, I guess I could have popped you into Phoenix Gate after all. What about in March Stance now? I guess you're still going north, though. Frankly, both of you are capable of moving right now. Half of your troops are going to be taken out of your armies, but I want them essentially to be leveling up. The spears are going to go to a spear army. They're not staying in Arathon's aerial army, but we need various heroes and stuff. And actually, speaking of heroes, let's get this Crushing Handmaiden up and running. Crushing is too good to say no to. And while I'm not entirely sure which of these armies she's going to go into, this would be nice for chariots, and frankly the spears as well, to stack that weapon strength. If we get several crushing units, we could go like plus 100% weapon strength for spears in that army. Could be a neat idea. Alright, yeah, either way, let's get you. I hate to use up all the influence on this, but, you know, how likely is it that we're going to get too many of the crushing handmaidens? Oh, speaking of handmaidens, that recruitment gave us a blurb. Now, the question is that the only blurb that we got here? Let me just check here. No, we got Skycutters, Tyrannoc Chariots, and I believe handmaidens. Alright, let's take a look at these then. Skycutters and chariots. I guess they're both chariots in a way. When the swift hawk ships of Lothern slip their moorings, they are accompanied to the open sea by Skycutters, sleek, airborne chariots that rest upon a cushion of magic and are drawn into battle by the swift feather rocks that nest among the glittering coast. These serve as the eyes and ears of Lothern's fleets, allowing them to plan engagements long before the enemy is even aware of their presence. Skycutters also serve as the outriders of Lothern's armies, for they go where their grounded kin cannot. Should a Skycutter's crew encounter a foe, their goal is to clear the skies, go figure, ensuring that Lothern will dominate the heavens in the battle to come. The bows of the Sea Guard crew can harry lesser troops, but larger foes ignore their arrows. Thus do the crew favor the compact eagle-eye bolt throwers, whose steel shots can deal a ruinous blow, it's my favorite kind of blow, to even the mightiest of beasts. These prized weapons are mounted upon the Skycutter's prow, allowing the Sea Guard crew to maintain a constant barrage of fire, even as they dive into the fray. As for the Tyrannoc chariots, the High Elves of Tyrannoc are an adventurous people, proud of their fighting traditions and deeply embittered by the wars that have ravaged their realm. When the Phoenix King calls his subjects to war, the fiery knights of Tyrannoc are always among the first to answer, riding to battle at the head of a mighty chariot host. Spear points and helms gleam in the light of the rising sun, and the ground trembles beneath thundering hooves. Banners of white, gold, and blue stream in the wind. As one, the chariots give voice to the battle hymn of Tyrannoc, a rousing and beautiful anthem sung at the mustering of the hosts since ancient times. In battle, the Tyrannoc charioteers fight with incredible skill, deft reactions complementing the speed of their elven steeds. Thus do they find passage where lesser mortals could not hope to do so. They weave between enemy units at full speed, raining arrows onto unprotected flanks and raking enemy lines with steel-tipped spears. Only when the enemy is sufficiently weakened do the Tyrannoc charioteers crash into the press of melee in a glorious massed charge, the steeds biting and kicking, the riders thrusting their spears into the black hearts of their foes. Although in this particular situation, thrusting their spears into the hearts of Illyrians. The chariot guys versus the horse guys. I can't believe they're still at war. It's been 32 turns. Oh, a bunch of idiots. I think just like these two, they're not going to stop until we manage to confederate one of them. Anyway, the other thing I wanted to do is... wait. We won't have enough influence, will we? I guess we could use some of it. Oh, we got one turn anyway. I wanted to grab the Tyrannoc patronage in order to get the chariot army becoming cheaper, but I guess since we can't do it now, we'll wait until next turn. There is the potential of getting another patronage instead, like Illyrian, but it's not like we have the Illyrian Reaver army up and running yet. Ooh, perfect vigor for Silverhelms. That's nice. Bonus versus infantry for Illyrian Reavers, but nothing for their ranged attacks. Huh. Well, that's kind of interesting. I guess this army wants you to use Silver Helms and Illyrian Reavers in melee to support them. Huh, go figure. I would have expected more range buffs for the Illyrian Reavers out of it, but maybe they're strong enough already. Anyway, technology. This is going to cause us some problems, but I think it's time. We're going to pop spy networks. This will give us a vision of all the sea. The main thing I want out of this is to be able to see all islands so that we can pick up a few more as we travel around. This will also give us potentially a bunch of trade partners all across the world, and we do want Cathan units and, well, at least certain Cathan units. And probably a few others, definitely Wood Elven units, though actually this won't help us find the Wood Elves. The other thing is... this will give us vision of Kairos. Well, we'll just have to immediately declare war on him and any Tzeentchian faction that we can find. Though, wait. Yeah, we haven't yet traveled to the Fortress of Dawn. I don't think Kairos' ships are going to be close enough to catch our... to catch our convoys going this way, though... well, that's an issue. Our convoys traveling past this region, past the Fortress of Dawn to go to these. Okay, we'll just have to wait to go to these until Kairos is destroyed. Frickin' Tzeentch is always a problem, man. And actually, by the looks of it, Oshiotle is losing. Oh, that's not great. By the looks of it, Teclis is still alive. Well, nonetheless, I'm still going to pop that off, and, well, if it comes back to bite us, we're just going to have to deal with it. Perhaps not having enough foresight is just a symptom of having drawn the Sword of Khaine. Anyway, Ilariel, you are going to... guess send your turn in Lothern, although at the same time you'll need... oh wait, build this. You'll need to return to Caranthel next turn, actually the turn afterwards, in order to build up the tower.
Ilariel the Radiant.
We can't get to Port Elistor, anyway. You know what, go to Angariel, and then we'll go to Port Elistor because we need the public order and the growth of there a fair bit. And just visit as many of these as possible. We won't be building anything in Lothern, but the more growth we get here, the faster we can get to the tier 5. Then, Trillion, you have finally once again reached the tech thievery. I think. I don't know what the heck that was, but whatever. Success, good. Why the camera went down there is beyond me. And I believe Lequin is the only one that needs to move. She is going to go into, I believe, Tor Sarwar. Or at the very least, right at the edge of the settlement. We have to wait until next turn in order to actually build anything, though. Speaking of building things, Avalorn and the Phoenix Gate are the only ones. Alright, so we'll ignore those. We're at minus 503 now, so we do have to be careful with the cash. Then, I guess we're saving the influence for the Patrons of the Realms, so we're not doing anything. We are about to end the turn. There's a decent likelihood that Bellicor immediately attacks us, which would be great. So I guess we'll read the Glittering Host. Ooh, wait, actually, one more thing. I wanted to check Mist Mages. I did want to get one in Arathon's army. Protective isn't too bad. I don't actually know how this Glittering Robe and Transmutation of Lead upgraded work. So do we, I presume we get access to these spells? But only Overcast variants of them. I assume this is actually functional, because I don't see these two spells in your pile of spells here. I'd hate to waste 50 influence on something that doesn't work, but at the same time, I would like to find out if, in fact, it doesn't work. Limber, plus 20 melee defense and slippery. Wait, are these guys able to ride eagles, or is it only Skycutters? Who has a Mist Mage? You do. That's a noble, that's not a Mist Mage. Shut up. You. Yeah, you can ride a Great Eagle, so Slippery is actually not too bad, and in Arathon's army, both an Eagle mount and a Skycutter mount would work. You know what, then save the influence for now. It's not like we're going to be running low on Mist Mages anytime soon. Building upgrade available, outpost available, we'll skip all that. We'll read the last Glittering Host blurb, then we'll end the turn, and hopefully fight Bellicor. Where are we here? Handmaidens. Highest ranking of all the Sisters of Avalorn are the Handmaidens of the Everqueen. Not the mere courtiers that their name might suggest, but a warrior guard sworn to live and die in the service of their mistress. They are paragons of elven kind, as peerless in artistic pursuits as they are in the bloody business of battle. To serve as a handmaiden is a great honor. It is most commonly bestowed only upon those sisters of Avalorn who have many times proven their swiftness with blade, their precision with bow, and above all, an unswerving loyalty to the Everqueen. On rare occasions, however, the Everqueen will elevate a member of her court directly into the ranks of the handmaidens. Such appointments are seldom explained, but require the aspirant to forswear allegiance to all others for a period of 7 years, at the conclusion of which she is free to remain a handmaiden or return to her former life. Tradition dictates that the handmaidens always number 100 warrior maids, but seldom are more than a handful seen at any one time. They normally serve as heralds and messengers for the Everqueen, acting as her eyes and ears outside of Avalorn. Should a handmaiden grace a battlefield with her presence, she is treated with reverence by the High Elves who fight at her side. Even the haughtiest of princes rejoices to have such a warrior fighting in his cause, for the presence of a handmaiden is a clear sign of the Everqueen's favor, and moreover, a portent of ultimate victory. Should the prince find his forces buttressed by the full complement of 100 handmaidens, he will know that the Everqueen herself has joined the fight, and there can be no surer sign that dire times are close at hand. Alright, let's end the turn, see if Rarm attacks us, see if the convoys run into any more problems, and see if Bellicor wants to take on Tyrion and the Sword of Khaine. And with the basic sort of form of our army, there is no better time to attempt to claim the sword for yourself there, Bellicor. Again, it's been the benefit of using the ship's companies and the basic archers, the most basic troops that we have access to in the Elven roster, because the AI has a tendency to underestimate those troops and therefore will attack us, and because it thinks that by virtue of it, it can win. I think we all know that it's probably wrong, however, and frankly, even the auto-resolve realizes that Bellicor has little hope. He does have his Blade of Shadow. The passive ability will increase his melee attack up to 40, just gotta make sure that we don't let him, and that we don't let him kill too many things, which he's going to do by casting the Penumbral Pendulum amongst our lines, so maybe we will deploy in such a way that he can't hit too many units. Go.
No creature, mage, warrior, or beast can stand against the true elves.
Creature, mage, warrior, or beast. Apparently those are the 4 categories of things that could potentially attempt to stand against an elf. Creature and beast. I take it creature, because he doesn't say demon. I guess he includes demons as creatures, but they're not alive, so but anyway, maybe you should have said demon, especially as we are going to send Mr. Tyrion to duel Bellicor and see if it works out. Now, the main issue against Bellicor is that he has 2.5 times Tyrion's HP, and actually his stats are pretty darn solid. So he has more melee defense, which kind of surprises me. It doesn't hit quite as hard, but still hits very, very hard at 739. And the Dark Master Hex at minus 40 melee attack is pretty darn significant as well. Actually, I don't know who's going to win, but I guess we're going to find out. Tyrion will make sure that Bellicor lands and attacks him himself by popping off the Madness of Khaine, or the Vortex of Khaine, whatever that ability is called, to force Bellicor into Rampage. Of course, some Forsaken and other units will move in to aid Bellicor, but again, Tyrion is beholden to the... beholden is the wrong word here. Ooh, nice animation. There we go. Zoom out a little bit so we can see when Bellicor jumps up and attacks. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, Tyrion is taken by the Madness of Khaine here, and is... oh, wow. down by about 40% of his HP. They're both hitting real hard here, and Be'lakor is down about half, while Tyrion remains pretty hurt. He has, the Dark Master and the Enfeebling Foe upon him, but we counter it by using the Harmonic Convergence, so Tyrion still has nearly his main attack. He's healing a little bit with the Potion of Toughness, but it's gonna be very close. Is this a good idea to leave him there? Well, no, but this is what we're here for. So damn well will Tyrion continue fighting in the shadow beneath Be'lakor's wings. And someone will fall. And the Sunfang versus the shadowy sword that Be'lakor has, I like that matchup as well. I mean, technically Tyrion's using this sort of Khaine once again, but, you know. Obviously, the rest of the fight is also continuing at the same time, but frankly, this is much more interesting. The fight itself is mostly the fast movers moving towards us, and frankly, they've no chance here. The main fight is between these two powerhouses. Be'lakor's army is rather weak, and obviously what we could have done is simply shot Be'lakor to death with our range units, never having lifted a finger, but again, I feel like as long as we hold the Sword of Khaine on Tyrion, he has to take the most absurd risks and that he possibly can. He almost died fighting Dastan Koldai when he got surrounded by the Charybdis and 2 Manticores and Dastan and a bunch of troops, and damn well is he doing the same thing here with Be'lakor. And Be'lakor's down to 1 HP, and there we go. With that, he is banished once more. And, well, frankly, unless he gets reforged, we probably won't see him again, because we're going straight to Conquata after this. Tyrion lives with 836 HP and having reached his healing cap, though keeping in mind, once again, we did give him the Helm of Dreska rather than the Gilded Cuirass, which had made him quite a bit stronger previously. Anyway, to get him out of there, instead of being surrounded, we're going to drop a few of those Wakes of Fire from our Phoenix, and then book it away while we still have a little bit of HP remaining. I would have allowed Tyrion to fight his way out, but at the same time I figured we are in attrition-y territory. He has so little HP, and we seem to lose about, I don't know, 15 to 18% HP per turn of attrition. I'm a little bit worried that he's going to die to attrition, but I guess we'll see. Anyway, in the meantime, a little bit of halberd on halberd action as the Phoenix Guard, the Keepers of the Flame, face off against the Chaos Warriors. Although the Keepers of the Flame should have this handled pretty handily. Alrighty. And it looks like those Chaos Warriors are out of the picture. Going to pop off a Fiery Convocation through a unit of Chaos Warriors moving in to reinforce, and it looks like just as our army starts running down those of the enemy that remain, the battle switches to our favor, and rather the enemy army shatters, and the battle is done. Tyrion survives with 812 and counting HP. We're going to chase the enemy down a teensy bit, but since Tyrion is taking damage from something, it was Curse of not Curse, but Cloud of Flies was on him. I'm not entirely sure from what. Cloud of Flies is, I presume it's from being close in proximity to these Nurglite units. It's a very tiny Mortis Engine effect, but 1 HP per turn could have turned very significant for Tyrion, who was so damaged. Anyway, he did manage to banish Be'lakor, and so we got what we wanted out of this fight. Alrighty, there we go. Tyrion does defeat Be'lakor in his duel, though it was such a close thing. Keeping in mind that we were using the Helm of Dreska in this particular battle rather than the Gilded Cuirass, which was giving us regeneration prior, so Tyrion was a little bit weaker. But nonetheless, Be'lakor, despite being 10 levels lower, 9 levels lower, gave him a heck of a fight. Granted, with other troops helping him out, but nonetheless, still pretty impressive. Now, actually, the funny thing, or the question for this post-battle is, will Tyrion now die of attrition? Because he's, he's pretty low HP, and the attrition was hitting us pretty hard. I guess we're about to find out. And healing won't heal the single entities, so, yeah. Alright, well, we'll just see. Hope that that doesn't come back to bite me. Either way, we'll ransom the captives in this particular fight. The rest of Be'lakor's army was really nothing to be concerned about, so yeah. But we did get the Bell of the Ball trait, which is what we wanted. Doesn't make us any more immune to attrition, unfortunately. And really? Really? Yeah, we destroy the army and that's where you're coming in from? Come on, man. Alright, moment of truth. Oh. Bellicor did survive it, just the Demon's Reforged thing and then ran away. And looks like we did not die of attrition, luckily. Broken Axe Wall succeeds, ally mission successful, enemy killed in battle, Bella the Ball, and... Oh! The reason we didn't die with the attrition is because we decorruptified the place. Ha! Alright. And most importantly, Spy Networks is now up and running, so we can see all the... An unusual location at the Shrine of Khaine. Okay. And we have Peg Street Pawnbroker. Chance to gain a magic item 10% per turn. Income from all buildings. Plus 5%. When control is 90 or more, the pawnbroker's items will be half price. An event will soon trigger and this location will be removed. Huh. I feel like I remember this one, but I don't remember what it does. Funnily enough, pawnbroker will periodically offer you items for sale via events. I guess we'll keep it for now. It's weird to leave it in the Shrine of Khaine. It's also kind of weird that we got one unusual location in the Shrine of Asuryan, and then the next one at the Shrine of Khaine and not anywhere else. Huh. Go figure. It feels wrong to leave it here, though. The High Elves would not stand for it. I'm just really curious to see what this actually does with the events too. I don't know. I feel like I should burn it down because lore-wise, it's so wrong. I'll think about it. For now, we got a little bit of time. Anyway, Tyrion, you are going to take this location. Auto resolve and occupy, which will allow you to heal. Though I do wonder, will you heal more here, or it's... Well, I guess you're healing at maximum right here anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Alright, fair enough. Fair enough. And Bellicor being moved away may actually not be such a bad thing. Ooh, Alistar gets the debut against Rarm, or at least his army gets the debut. We got a new technology and probably a million new trading partners. Let's also double check. Yeah, there we go. Northern Province is not doing so great. Use Sag Puppets of Misrule and the Blessed Dread. That's unsurprising. But we should make a decent chunk of change out of all the trading, or at least those that are still willing after. What else do we have here? Khemri, Nagaryth. Defensive Alliance, I do want a vision of what's going on here. Let's do this. We'll take a look at some other stuff in a bit. I want to see the Volzan. Alright, so it's tier 1. We will leave it for now. Let's hope for these guys grow it to tier 3, and then as soon as they do, we trade it from them for the Twisted Glade. Yeah, and what if we could ally with these Wood Elves as well? Alright, back to diplomacy, since it's critical now. Defensive Alliance with Citadel of Dusk. They are probably going to get wiped out. And, oh right, now we have Vision of United Maritime, but okay, we definitely want the Defensive Alliance with them.
Greetings, esteemed ally.
And that's a question. You know what, let's hold off on the trade agreement. It'll be easy to get a trade agreement with them later. There's a lot of other factions that we may want to trade with. And only a limited amount will do that, so we'll wait. Citadel of Dusk would give us vision down here. Actually, I would also like to... Krasis get... Ooh. It's gonna hurt our public order. But you know what? What doesn't hurt our public order these days? Let's do it. Immediate Confederation, I guess. Some of the other elves will not like the further malice, but it is what it is. Christ, join Confederation. And, ooh, we get to immediately suit Corhill Lionmane and, well... one issue. Okay, just wait a moment. Province secured. Confederation. Ally loses outpost. Is Corhill on field? Yes, he is. Alright, let's see what he's got. He went for Guardian. Oh, it's a faction-wide buff. Hero recruitment cost minus 20%. Hero recruit rank for nobles 1. Nothing crazy, but it's not bad. So he has a unique blue line. The other stuff isn't anything interesting. The rest of this isn't unique. Alright, let's see what he's got. Captain, oh wow, he's got a 20% upkeep reduction for White Lions, War Lions, and Lion Chariots. I believe it's 15, or actually it's 10% on Alistar, isn't it?
Loyal Prince.
It's 10% here for the same guys, but he does buff their damage capabilities, and we do get another 5% out of this, so effectively it's 15%, whereas this guy gets 20. So slightly more, but, you know, being the captain kind of makes sense. Strength of Ruinous and diplomatic relations with High Elves, Empire, Bretonia. Good for any further confederations if we need them. Speed, Strider for forest battles. Lion Mane, Death Blow, and... okay. I was wondering whether he actually further buffed them. Okay, so he'll actually effectively get 25%. Upkeep reduction. He does charge bonus, melee defense, and forest buffs. Interesting. The fact that this buffs you in the forest makes me wonder if we should slightly switch out the type of units that Alistar has and maybe give Quarhill the Exalted High Elven Rangers instead. And do something else with Alistar.
Defender of the Phoenix Throne. You're bidding.
Hello. Free Reaver Bow. Alright, not for you, obviously, but free Reaver Bow. Not complaining about that. Actually, while we're here... Herald of Mathan, not for you, probably. Oh, you have Tyrion owes me. Funnily enough. But you have Fortuitous, which is kind of garbage. It doesn't buff your army. I guess you could go on a Star Dragon or something. We may have some uses for you at some point. And then what about you? Negator is okay. Alright. Anyway, back to this. So a fairly considerable buff for the White Lions themselves, and in fact, the additional melee defense is more valuable because these guys in the first place have very low melee defense. Lion's Pride is solely for... 8 melee defense for the Lion Chariots. Alright, that's good. The Lion Chariots aren't specifically really buffed by anything in Alistar's, though they do share a couple of buffs with the War Lions. And Weapon Strength, Berserk, and Terror. I would say that this is generally better for the War Lions, maybe, and the War Lion Chariots than Alistar's, but Alistar, I think, gets more overall buffs for the White Lions, plus giving them Strider and additional speed is better. Fair enough. Fair enough. Ooh, I like the twin axes, too. Alright, well, we're gonna have to figure out what to do with you, and the fact that you have a million units. Now, free Sky Cutter. We should probably keep that. Alright, we're gonna have to delete most of this because minus 3.7k is not going to be something we can deal with. We will, however, deal with this in a second. There's a little bit more diplomacy to do, right? Yes.
Great.
There's no further confederation. We could do military alliance with the Yvresse if we really wanted to. Citadel of Dusk, with them potentially getting wiped out shortly. I don't know if that's a good idea for now, but I mean, it's another Elven faction.
Sir, stand by their friends.
And I will hold off on the trade with you for now. Wait, what? Oh, I almost gave them all our money. Oh, that would have been unfortunate. Yeah, do the defensive alliance.
Let this be
yeah, I see how this is a problem. Oh. If these guys declare war upon you, then Skulltaker could go after our poor precious convoys. Alright, what about the trade agreements?
Yes, be on guard.
Okamoto clan will be destroyed soon. We want potentially access to Kislevite units, so I'm gonna say Ice Court, plus with them having 11 settlements. These two are good options. They will provide us a lot of trade. Now, we could take their money, but this will actually weaken them, and maybe that's not the best idea. Let's do the military access. I think the non-aggression pact will come with time. Go for the trade agreement instead. And it'll also give us vision of all of them. Then we will do the same thing with the Great Orthodoxy. Again, they have a lot of settlements, and therefore I want to see what's going on over here. We're not taking your money, except a little bit. Yeah. Alright, who's next on the trade menu? Golden Order has 8, but refused to trade with us unless we could declare war on Deathmaster Snitch from all the way over here. It's not like he's going to do anything about it. It's a possibility, but he'll also trade afterwards. The last defenders are willing to trade, but they are currently fighting Khalida. May not be so great for us. Huh. Oh, actually, maybe Kairos isn't doing so good. It looks like maybe he only has Fate Weaver's Crevasse by the looks of it. I wish I could see what exactly was going on down there. 331, eh? It looks like we're going to get a lot out of the last defenders. Knights of Calador. They're still alive, that's a good thing. Hey, Western Provinces have 9 settlements? Yes, we're going with you. Alright, do this and... Oh, I'd really prefer not to take your money, but there's no one to... Oh, you're not at war with anybody. Therefore, I think we're free to trade with you and take your money. There we go. Alright, how are we doing otherwise, trade agreement-wise? Well, still a few more to trade with. I'm gonna go northern provinces, I guess. Though I fear they will die. Maybe Sanyo clan will stay alive, but we'll have to... Oh, I guess we'll have to declare war on this little Xinjiang faction anyway, so might as well. Do the non-aggression pact, join war against the cult of Tin Tsin, and... Oh, still can't do the military access. Yeah, whatever, take your money.
Most efficient.
Alright. More access to Khaine units potentially might be nice. Claws of the White Tiger, yes, we do want... this is the main Khaine unit that we will want, and it's Tigerman. Let's do this, and we're not going to join any wars. This will give us Vision of Grimgor. Basically, we just got Vision of the whole map out of this turn. There may be some issues with that, but it is what it is. Alright, who else do we want to be friendly with? Heralds of Ariel, yes, the non-aggression pact. Especially since we want Val's Anvil right beside you. Alright, then, Reichland, we can't trade with you? No, not yet. They will eventually ask for trade agreements, but we'll do the non-aggression, but they're in trouble. We're not gonna take any of their cash. Bretonia is basically destroyed, so they are surrounded on all sides for the true Empire experience. Hamry has 12 settlements. Probably not super friendly with some of the other factions nearby, but I'd like to trade with them more than I care about the non-aggression pact stuff. And Defenders of the Great Plan, we could do the non-aggression pact with you, I guess. Eventually we'll trade with you, and frankly, you don't need your money, so I'm happy to take yours. What else do we have? Doom Legion. I think that Dieter Helsnake just doesn't want to die, which is why he wants to offer the non-aggression pact. Karakadrin surprisingly wants a non-aggression pact, but that probably means, yeah, they're losing their armies to Draika. Alberic. On the one hand, I don't particularly like the fact that you've taken islands in the sea, which we could use for ourselves, but at the same time, they're mostly red territories, so I guess we can't care too much. I did want access to medicinal plants because I don't think we have access to it on Ulthuan at all, so we have to find it somewhere. But perhaps we could maybe trade it from you. We'll see. Oh, Carcassonne is actually alive. They're not having that great of a time against Grom, but we are looking to help them out, so yeah. No, don't take their money. Go for the non-aggression pact. I assume they're friendly with the Wood Elves. And if we can do... Oh, you know what I should have done? I should have traded with Carcassonne. You know what? The next trade faction will be Carcassonne. Because they will give us vision of all the other Wood Elves, and that would be real great. And I think the rest we'll leave alone for now. I mean, there is Leofric's Fellowship, I suppose.
That Bretonia would turn away a guest.
Do we want to take their money? You know what, I'm gonna hold off on the non-aggression pact for now, and then we'll see. We might take their money at some point. Alright, minus 1.7k, so the trade obviously helped. Just need more elven embassies to get the trade flowing. Now, after all that, let us do a little fighting, shall we? Your noble is not technically your noble, is he? Oh wait, actually crushing is your noble. We should try to get another crushing one as well. Let's get you replenished troops, then we will declare war on these fellas. And then we will have a nice battle with Alistar. Oh, I should have had you channel. But then we couldn't have marched stance, so yeah. Alright, go into Noble Prestige, though. Like so. Get the additional XP, you're gonna need it. Alright, here we go. We will give the Wailing Banner to these guys. They don't cause fear or terror, though admittedly they could probably use a banner of some kind. I mean, that is a banner, so you know what I mean. And the Gleaming Pennant doesn't matter because it's terrible. Put it on the Eagles, just for fun, go.
For Ulthuan!
Alrighty, here we go. The enemy is arrayed against us, and rarely Beastmen on Ulthuan. I guess we did start with Beastmen on Ulthuan, but we didn't get the chance to fight them, so I'm glad to see them here for Alistar and his army to take on. Now, Alistar's obviously going to start the day by charging through some enemy gores, or charging into them and then heading to another enemy. There we go. Gotta love seeing those war lion chariots. Or is it just lion chariots? Whatever. In action. More importantly, though, we now have our first white lions, and here, or rather than what we'd usually do, wherein we would use the use the war lines to loop around the enemy and smash into their rear ranks. We're going to advance them together with the white lions themselves, straight up the center. On the flanks, rather than the war lions, we have our units of High Elf Rangers, which are, they use a spear and a blade. I thought they were twin blades. Maybe this says dual sword infantry. Is this what separates them from the regular Rangers? Let me just... I so rarely use Rangers that I don't remember what they actually look like. No, they are regular Rangers. Non-Exalted Rangers are twin blades. I guess this is what makes the Exalted Rangers. I'd like to see them two very close together to see if there are any other differences upon them, but alas, they are a little bit far from each other. Yeah, there we go. Armor-wise, they look pretty similar. I like that these guys have a spear. I mean, if anybody's going to be deft enough, it's probably an elf to fight like that. Anyway, I digress. Here we go. Alistar's moving through some enemies, dishing out a little bit of damage, getting a little bit of kills, some enemies blobbing up around him while we await the arrival of the rest of our units. Fortunately, we are, well, reasonably quick, 41 speed on the white lions, and the war lions will rush ahead. They do have the barrier. There we go, and they can send many a gore flying. Like so. Tactically, it's going to be a pretty simple fight on the front lines here, and frankly, in the shadows beneath the canopy of the trees as well. Again, our rangers, our forest striders, or whatever it's called. Yeah, it is forest strider. And we'll work on cutting apart whatever units they meet beneath those trees. They should have an advantage against Ogors and Ungors actually pretty considerably because of fast attacking light infantry like this, generally speaking, are very good at mincing enemy light infantry. Kind of the same deal with, Berserkers and Depth Guard. Well, actually, Berserkers and SFO are anti-large, I think, but anyway. Depth Guard with twin axes, Corn Warriors with twin axes, all fantastic at obliterating piles of enemy troops. Anyway, looks like the Elven Rangers tear through this Gore herd with no trouble, losing maybe 5% of their HP, or Ungor herd, and the Ungors are out of the picture. Our artillery piece is doing its best to focus down the enemy Minotaurs, which, admittedly, are charging through the Rangers, which are now backing up the units of White Lions. Fortunately, the White Lions themselves are anti-large, though the bonus isn't anything crazy. Looks like this Minotaur's texture is broken on one of his axes. Well, not only his textures, but his body will be broken too as we run him down. The bounce of power shifts to about 90% in our favor, and it looks like rather rapidly we will win this battle. Completely unsurprisingly, as our own army, like the Beastman army here, is kind of a blitz army, so generally speaking, two high damage dealing, low melee defense armies smashing into each other. They're gonna fight for a few seconds, and then one will win, and both will be torn to shreds. And that's what happened here. Some damage on some of our War Lions, and I do notice that the War Lions seem to have gotten in each other's way a little bit here, so gotta be careful about using too many of them in the same position. Or perhaps it's just the enemy being blobbed up like this. But either way, a very nice win for Alistar's first fight and his Lions and Rangers. Alrighty, there we go. Solid debut for Alistar's or possibly Corhill's army, and depending on how we do it later. Maybe we should have Alistar and Corhill, okay, one of them having the pure main company and then one of them having Rahagra's Pride, such that each one gets a Creation Regiment of Renown. I feel like that makes sense. As to who gets what, we'll just have to see later. For now, though, the battle went pretty well for us. Alistar got 112 kills and 9,000 damage, though admittedly he did spend a little bit of time annoying the enemy lord. For the White Lions, it's one of the unnamed ones with 172 kills and 18k damage. Rather impressed with the Exalted High Elven Ranger work, one of them getting 196 kills and 15k. Solid, not quite matching the White Lions, but all told, very good. I do admit, though, that this was kind of an ideal situation for them, Gores and Ungors being lightly armored and making use of their Forest Strider to fight them in the woods worked out well. 20k on Aslan's Kin, very nice. 31k on the White Claws, who take the prize for the War Lions. A lovely first fight. No need to heal because we can't get out of the settlement anyway, so we'll ransom the captives and we'll chase down, channel, and then go to Bretonnia to, you know, hack away at orcs and gobos and whatnot. Barded a Thilmar steed for Miltsea. Miltsea isn't actually supposed to be in this army, but for now, she will do. And in fact, let's get you Shield of Thorns. Like so. Flesh to Stone would actually be quite useful for the war lines as well, but I feel like, well, maybe the two different war line armies shouldn't have both the same mage. What the heck? Was she that hurt? Huh, weird. Weird but not surprising. Can't heal her anyway. We should probably do different mages for them. I still will put Miltsea in a in an army with lots of Oceanids and Sea Elementals, because we can stack that with Animal Whisperer for 1600 barrier, which sounds pretty good to me. Anyway, you, not Miltsea, you will go into Lilith's Blessing. And if we go back to... Oh, it's all calm around here. Damn you, calm winds of magic. Alright, well, we can, I guess, channel for one turn, heal, and then sail on over to Lyonesse or Barley Mutt or whatever. Alright. Technology. It could pay again for the Pinnacle of Civilization, which would give us construction, cost reduction for High Elf entertainment, aristocracy, and embassy buildings. Admittedly, once again, entertainment are the only ones who are building in any real numbers right now. The thing will pay for itself eventually, but is it worth going for right now over something else? Hardwood construction, chariot buffs. We are about to start using a lot of chariots. Ooh, okay, now we're gonna prioritize monthly festivals for the control. More countering of the Confederation debuff. Also, did we get a blurb this turn? I see no blurb. Okay, so we're good for now. All right, Kevin.
Protector of Ulthuan.
Go into Lothern, please. No, go into Lothern. What are you doing?
Sailing on.
Go into no, not into Angariel. Go into Lothern.
Guardian of the Phoenix Crown.
Thank you. Why was that so difficult? Alrighty, then, Alariel, you are returning to Southey Rest next turn. For now, though, you can end your turn in Portella's store and get it the Power of Nature, like so, and then end the turn to the next one afterwards. You can now upgrade... I'm going to say start with Torsar War, because this will allow us the recruitment and stuff cheaper. Like so. And it's not like it'll take long to upgrade Evershale anyway. And then I guess stay here, because you can still upgrade them next turn. Alrighty. If you go through Phoenix Gate, we could get over here, but it'll still be 3 or 4 turns. Yeah, it's probably not worth it at this time. Actually, speaking of Tor Anlek, we want Erathond going to beside it. He will level up here. Hopefully this will not prevent... Yeah, okay, good. No, don't go into the... No, don't go into the... right here. Alright. I want him to be beside the close to the settlement, but not in the settlement, because I don't want the additional military bonuses.
Take your time.
I do want the place to rebel. Billionaire, you are heading out to the sea. I guess through Elysia, which we now have as a port. You're going to deliver to Tyrion stuff, although I guess we can use one of these lords to actually deliver, like Colin here. Yes, alright. We'll use you to deliver. You can take from this fella. Unless we have a silver helmet of one of these guys. Wait a moment. And then we can send Billionaire back to hopefully get an army. We have Illyrian Reavers. Most of this, by the looks of it, will be deleted. Not worth paying for. More Illyrian Reavers. Yeah. We could keep the Sky Cutter, because we don't have capacity for them right now, but otherwise it's probably not worth it, especially considering we can recruit stuff at super high rank instead of, you know, getting this stuff. Yeah. And again, we want to build up our empire for now, so yeah, we'll wait. Actually, speaking of building up, Krace, you have the Elven Forge. We will delete the Farrier here. You have the Craftsman and the Elven Fairground, which is fine. We don't need the Greater Grove in this settlement. We will want it in the main settlement, most likely. And then the same thing, I guess, for the Warhall. Although, wait, I kept a Warhall somewhere else that I... Yeah, we kept one here in Portella's store. Also, you can go into Rebuild Lost Plunder. We kept it in Portella's store because you need... I don't know which one of these. I should do the sort of first text of every single one. So that, yeah, these things are unlocked by buildings, and I don't know which building that was. I assume it's one of these ones. It actually might be the Point C Masters, but either way, I guess then we'll keep those for now. And then I guess we can get rid of it here in Torfinu, because we have the construction reducers, whatever, a little bit closer. That makes sense to me, and then we'll build this next turn once we have the reductions.
Whatever you say.
Yeah, alright. What about all of you guys? Yeah, like I said, we're probably going to delete these. We can recruit ships companies at this rank anyway, so there's no need to pay a million billion money for them. Delete. We get, you know what? Keep the Rangers.
We have sailed our last.
And I don't really care for the Eagle Claws. I just figure if we want to get Corhill fighting, it'll be a little bit before we can afford to support actual White Lions. But we could leave him with a few other things.
High Elven
Eagles, Eagle Claws, they're not very expensive by comparison. And delete the spears and the ships companies. Actually, ships companies being dirt cheap. You know what? Well, frankly, the spears aren't actually all that much more expensive. Delete this. Delete the... Oh, another unit of Tyrion chariots, by the way. Delete the Reavers and the chariots. They're actually more expensive than the war lines, so we'll just get more war lines.
For action.
Well, then, you can use the Rangers and these guys as your temporary army. Minus the Lothern Skycutters, which we will deliver to Arathond. And then you'll need some heroes as well. But until you get them, just use a couple of archers. There you go. Alrighty, and goodbye to the Reavers. Alright, there we go. We're positive again, if just barely. So you will deliver this to Arathond, so go out here.
Speak.
And then we will get you off field afterwards. Actually, you're costing us like 300 gold per turn. I will give that to Belinair, and then he can deliver it and then go and grab his own army. You... Okay, wait.
Handmaiden of the Everqueen.
The Crushing Handmaiden, I don't know which army I'm going to go in, but you can go out here for now. I will also go for the Patron of the Realms and then give that to Henner Mara. As soon as you're good. Oh, and then we'll have to decide which... Wait a moment. Who gets the Creation Patronage? It's charge bonus for White Lions and devastating flanker for War Lions and nothing for chariots. Yes, meaning Alistar will get this because we'll do chariot heavy army and Corhill's army. White Lion chariot heavy at any rate. Anyway, Tyrion Patronage. That's for... I forgot your name already. We have too many lords. Alrighty, Henner Mara. Yes, alright. If I can find you in here. There you are. Alright, you will take the patronage of Tyrion, like so, and we'll bump it up to max immediately, giving you a 15% upkeep reduction, bumping our income up to plus 1,000. Lovely. Then you can, I guess, march stand south, and you can sail out of... Actually, I guess the question is where we're going to send you. Again, your army isn't complete. Probably complete enough to fight Morathi and such, though. Yeah, alright. Let's send you this way toward Ruinous. Is it really faster to go this way? I mean, we do have military access, so yeah, whatever. You can go this way, then. And we'll get you the rest of the troops that you need later on. Oh, lovely. Alright, Krace, you are waiting. Diplomacy, we don't have to check this turn. Again. Cadrill. Ah, Sabi Crookshank is right there. He's right there. Ooh, to borrow. Now defense when fighting a subterranean battle. That will probably almost never come in handy. Dilemma, the Scrolls of Binding, chance of interception. Interesting. We'll give that a read if we ever build it or get it. I just can't not attack Sloppy Crookshank. He's right there, you know? 2 turns and 6 turns. Alright, come on, you can do it. You can survive. I somewhat believe in you, Noble. You're the Frugal Noble, yes. Good. You were probably similarly gonna go for Sense of Duty. We need somebody to help you guys defend stuff, so yeah. Alright, go for Spirited Presence, and then into Sense of Duty afterwards. You are saving your points to get Hawkish Precision, therefore you are not in need of doing anything else. Therefore, we will attack Sloppy Crookshank.
I said no.
And he'll fight. Pyrrhic Victory. The warp lighting cannons are going to be a concern. Did we get the map with? Yes, we can use the hill for cover again. And the direct fire units will not be able to direct fire upon us. Go.
Asuryan wills it.
Alrighty, here we go. Did I mention it earlier? I forgot if I mentioned it earlier, but do stay tuned for a second episode as promised later today, assuming that we trend towards the engagement threshold of 400 likes and 70 comments. But the previous episodes did, and I expect this one will as well. So, yeah, a little bit later today. Anyway, we're going to start the battle off using, as I said prior to the fight, the hill for cover in order to move towards those warp lightning cannons. Though, unfortunately, what I didn't realize or didn't think of at the time was that the warp cannons would then be free to fire upon the Illyrian Reavers. They will charge on in, and distracting them for a little bit, but they are so heavily damaged on the charge by the warp lightnings, which obviously penetrated through their ranks, that they will have to back off. In the meantime, our units of Illyrian Reaver archers will annihilate the poor enemy Doomwheel, which we did hit with a Mathland Spite, which slowed it down by 60%, preventing it from doing anything. Otherwise, we do use the Gem of Sunfire to hit the Warp Lightning Cannons, quite well by the looks of it. And we'll follow up with the Illyrian Reaver archers hitting those warp cannons and making sure they fall. Our other Illyrian Reavers do charge on in, hitting the enemy backliners, but do get chased off by the Storm Vermin before they can kill too many of the enemy weapons teams. But the Illyrian Reavers serve their purpose of distracting the enemy. We have taken up position on this hill and will rain arrow death? I don't know. I was going to say something that's like fiery death, but arrowy death, why not? Down upon the enemy below. Though it does look like one of our units does get hit with a bit of warp fire from the warp fire throwers. Going to have to back these guys off as they're down to about 40% of their HP. In the meantime, some Rad Ogres are heading their way towards us. But fortunately for us, we got a lot of spear action going from our Lothern Seaguard, our two ranks of Lothern Seaguard, first shielded, second unshielded. I also note that the heavy arrowheads and the non-heavy arrowheads look pretty different from each other. Like, really different from each other. Interesting. Well, either way, these guys, the ones in the back line, are the ones that dish out the damage in this particular army. The Lothern Seaguard range attacks don't actually hit all that hard, and thanks to the exalted variants of these units, it's much, much better. 87 missile strength on these guys compared to 32 on the Lothern Seaguard. So we got to keep these guys firing, and that's why the two ranks of Seaguard. Either way, we quickly focus down the enemy units of Rad Ogres, and I'm now just realizing that I almost never see the Mist Mages fight in melee like this. I gotta make sure to put some Mist Mages on foot, just to see their animations and stuff. But we won't be seeing them against a sloppy Crookshank, at least not anymore, as with that, the last gambit, the assault of the Death Runners and the Storm Vermin fails, and the battle is ours. Most damage, by the looks of it, taken from the Warp Fire Throwers hitting some of our Seaguard, the Mathlands Patrollers in this particular case, as well as those Warp Lightning Cannons, and dishing out damage to our Illyrian Reavers, though admittedly they do survive. Alrighty, there we go. A lovely battle with certainly some damage coming in out of the Warp Fire Throwers rather, and the Rat Ogres. Our Exalted Illyrian Reavers, the melee variant, bravely charged those Warp Lightning Cannons, and while they weren't able to do the damage as the enemy was able to react to them, we were able to hit them with spells and then follow that up with arrow fire from the Exalted Illyrian Reaver archers after they had obliterated that poor Doomwheel, thanks to slowing it down with Eladriel's Shroud off the Mist Mage and then just peppering it with the anti-large arrows of the Illyrian Reaver archers. Overall, a lovely little fight. Our shielded units of Seaguard are the named ones in this army, and with 9.5k it is Mathlands Patrollers who carry the day. These guys also obviously took the most damage because they were out front, and that's kind of what they're here for. I can't say no to 3k even if this army does need a heal, so we're going to ransom those captives. Well, I guess, well, if we need to chase these guys down anyway, we could land here or sit here for a moment and heal anyway, so we should be okay. Kill more Fivik. A resolve.
Rally to me, Asuryan.
And, I take it that damage these guys more. Oh, I gotta pay attention to the auto-resolve. It probably hates these 2 units, and probably why we'll eventually have to replace them out of this army with more Exalted Illyrian Reaver archers, but that'll be fine. We'll put these guys elsewhere with silver helms and other such things. We will here... just take ransom captives again. Could still use the additional influence. We're gonna need a lot more. Anyway, I guess you're going here then. Somewhere where you won't suffer attrition, though. Like so. Actually not healing as much as I'd like. Maybe we need to bump that up. You. Walk between worlds is decent. To close the distance and effect area. That said, I'm kind of inclined to head towards either Writhing Mist as soon as possible, because it'll affect effectively our entire army and make them invisible. For a little while at least. Or Mistress of the Deeps for emergency Oceanid summon. So in that light, we're going this way. Alright, what about you, Noble? You are maxed out on replenished troops. Okay, so at least you can get Sense of Duty for that additional little bit of a melee defense for Hold the Line, plus 10 melee defense on the frontliners, and they will be grateful for it. Handmaiden. You have reached rank 10, meaning you can get the other point in replenished troops. I'd love to go for Retinue Physician, but we need that hawkish precision fast as we can get it, so we're just waiting for rank 12. Okie dokie. As for the princess, I guess we max out both Bowmaster and Militia Master. We will still need Cavalry Master here as well, but I believe that's it. I do still intend to... Oh, actually, that reminds me. I do still intend to give you 1 for Siege Attacker. 1 Exalted Eagle Claw Bolter. We'll build it up despite the cost, as in, we're not going to reduce the cost or increase the... I mean... You know, I'm going to say build this one and then deliver it, because this army's really close by anyway, and then we'll go back and build the other stuff that we wanted in this army. Admittedly, we could use some Exalted Lothern Seaguard, but at the same time... I mean, I guess if we get a couple of Exalted Lothern Seaguard... The thing is, I would really like to prefer to get 2 at once. Although this army does already have a decent amount of Exalted units. Yeah, you know what, I think it'll be fine. Use a regular Seaguard for now, because I don't think the Exalted ones give us anything interesting in terms of auras or anything. They're just unbreakable, which is fine, and maybe they attack a little bit harder. Also, they have 100 units compared to... No, these guys have 100 units as well. I wonder if their base armor is heavier or not. Out of curiosity. Just compared to the regular ones. 90 armor versus 90 armor. It isn't really 90 armor because we have the Invocation of Vol up and running, so a lot of our units are getting plus 20 armor right now. So these guys, the Exalted ones... Huh, wait a moment. Exalted ones have less melee attack than the non-Exalted ones? But why? They are considerably more expensive. Their range is the same. Okay, no, it's easier to pin it. And they have way more leadership, and they have armor piercing on their exalted variant for their weapon strength. 25, and quite a bit of it at that. Yeah. So they're considerably more armor piercing. Interesting. Interesting. But not necessary, at least not for this army, at least not right now. Oh! We can get 2 more Exalted Illyrian Reaver Archers to replace those guys and not let the other resolves grow. Alright, fine. In that light then, for 1 turn, we'll go into Rally Citizen Militia to get the additional recruit ranks. And we'll build the stuff. Recruit the stuff, you know what I mean. Next up, I would like to see we do have another Noble available, and Hound is fine. But isn't what I was looking for, and I'm still on the fence about spending influence on another Mist Mage right now. Out of curiosity... We still have Energetic and Punitive, both of which are absolutely incredible. Speed 20, Reload 20, and Campaign Movement Range 20. And Punitive, yeah. Princesses, once again, so vastly superior to Princess, it's kind of insane. At least in terms of the special traits that they can get. Herald is the trait that I wanted, but we can't afford it right now, so we'll wait. Alright, I guess we're waiting then. Building-wise, did we already do it this turn? I think we did. Alright, anything else that we need to do then? Alistar is waiting, go figure. Cadrilla is healing, also go figure. Leia Quinn, you're here for 1 more turn unless I'm mistaken, so you're fine. You don't need to channel. Alariel, you're ending the turn in Portella's store. We did not steal tech. Aha. Knew there was something I had forgotten. Go to Grey Rock Point, please. And, ooh, Monday is advancing. Huh, I wonder if he's gonna get into a fight with the Tomb Kings there. Distinct likelihood. This is at rank 10, eh? So at rank Yeah, we can max out this and focus mine. Okay, good. I wanted Ancient City of Quintex, but if Mazda Mundi moves up and takes too many territories, then we're just going to have to leave him to it. He's not fighting the Cathians in this particular timeline, so... Yeah, also speaking of Cathians, balance this. We do want the alliances with these guys, because they will give us their units. And certainly things like Celestial Lions and the Tigermen and other things will be of use to us. Things I can at least say somewhat belong in an elven roster. Alright, the rest of that looks good to me. So, I do believe we're ending the turn now. There is no further blurbs. At least not this turn. Tyrion, can anybody attack you here? I don't think so. Belcor's running away. Huh. They'll probably return to Conquata, which will make it a little bit tougher to actually take the place, but it's all good. Alright. Skip. Imminent Rebellion is where it's supposed to be. Good. And then the turn. Do we want to declare... Wait. We declared war on one Tzeentch faction. How many Tzeentch factions can we see? Okay, so there's also Sliding Terror, which is very, very far. And I think we will declare war on them as well. Eventually, most likely, they will ask for peace, but for now, we'll just ignore them. Alrighty, then... there is Kairos. What's the likelihood he will immediately be able to use an ability on us? Low? Maybe low. Alright, I'm going to chance declaring war on him. I'm just going to hope that he doesn't sail to kill our convoys. It would be unfortunate if he did. Oh, I guess we could join the war by asking, let's say, Ghost of Pawash. Ashiotla, we'll join your war for non-aggression, and actually we could just straight go into military alliance, or defensive alliance rather. It'll enable us to see Kairos, though I fear it will make Ashiotla weaker. That's the thing that worries me. You know what, I'm going to say non-aggression pact and military access for now. Don't do the defensive alliance. I don't trust it. It might only be military alliance, but I swear sometimes allying the AI makes it just so much weaker. So I'd rather do the agreements, and maybe they'll wipe out Kairos for us, together with Teclis, and then we won't have to worry about him swapping our settlements around, because it's infuriating. You're in tribute to the Phoenix King? Yes, alright. Well, looks good to me. Let's end the turn. Alright, any blurb we haven't read? I believe we've read Elisale, because it's sparsely inhabited. Ah, what do you want? Non-aggression pact. I am not sure about this yet, because I don't know how you feel about the Wood Elves, so let's just hold off on that, please. And now we're at a place where, we've already read Port Elistor. And I don't think we can reach any of the others. I feel like it's strange that you can't move the camera while the turn is ending. Like, what was the reasoning behind this? I feel like you should be able to, right? Am I crazy? Not that it's that big of a deal. Usually we wouldn't, I mean, in previous campaigns we were never reading these blurbs. Worldwalkers will attack Cathik, enter war on the side of ally. That'll again make it a little bit difficult for our convoys. We're definitely going to have to send somebody to fight the Norskins. I'm not surprised by it though. Maybe we'll send Arathond up there. I do want to make sure that we send Arathond somewhere where he hasn't been before in previous campaigns, and since he fought Dark Elves all campaign in his originating campaign, he should fight a different foe. Alright, what do we have here? Rebellion in Nagaroth, not for long. We will destroy it immediately because I want them to rebel again as soon as possible. Although, admittedly, this does cause a little bit of public order issue faction-wide, and maybe we don't want Arathond to stay here necessarily. You know what? Fine. Go into Toranlek, let them get a little bit more units, and then we'll wipe them out.
We stand ready for action.
I think. Alright, ally begins outpost construction for everybody. Seafarer, there's that control bonus. Then, how's Valzandra looking? Alright, why don't you build it up? Huh. There's somebody here, but I don't know who it is. Wait, do we have a mission? Cathik. That's Wolfric the Wanderer. Oh, we could maybe kill him after Bellicor. Leif Gulbrandson. Aha, so this is him. Okay, now wait, no. Is it? Yeah, it is. Now, the annoying aspect of this, and this looks to be another full stack. In Conquata, oh my. Alright, well then.
Defender of
Coriel.
the Phoenix throne.
Actually, now we're probably going to send Alistar for it because he has a proper army. All right, you, sir, will leave the settlement. You are still. We could march stance this way and not lose any of our embarkation. Yeah, probably it's fine.
Traveling.
I like this. We'll keep Coriel here.
Prince
I should have actually put him in Elysia last turn, just to see where this guy goes, because he might attempt to go to the Shrine of Khaine, and I'd rather, you know, him not. You have a noble that is crushing? Yes. And then we do have an handmaiden that's crushing. The problem is she needs to be somewhere where we have actual range units to take, you know, to benefit from what she does. Also, Belanair, I was going to give you this, and you I was going to disband. Did we reset you? What do you have? Inspiring Presence, Rude Marcher, Speed of Asuryan. Yeah, it's fine. It's bad. Alright. Belanair, you are going to deliver this to Arathon, though, funnily enough, I think you can't get close enough until this guy's gone, so go into Shrine of Ruinous. And then Colin, you will march stance, or full speed stance, right beside Alistar. You are delivering these guys to Tyrion. He likes those silver helms, from what I hear. Alright, speaking of Tyrion, you're going to sail out. You may be damaged, but not so damaged that you can't continue to fight. Plus you have the Sword of Khaine, so it feels appropriate for you. And you are going to get as close to the Isle of Wights as possible, and then try to attack it next turn.
Protector of the Everqueen.
Chaos Totem, Marauder, Champion, Garrison. Yeah, I think you'll be okay. Alrighty. And somebody could attack you. Did you level? You did. And just the 1 point, but it will get you stand your ground, which is quite nice. And the extra level on Caradron. What do we need to be rank 12 to get Ashtari? Good. Very nearly there. Actually, let's get Ward of Asuryan. Ward's safe for accompanying a lord. I think Tyrion needs it while he's not using that Gilded Cuirass. You, Mage of Heavens, have been doing a fairly good job. I'm gonna say maybe we go into... Oh! It's a range damage we are the elite from Heavens. Oh, interesting. Wait. Just out of curiosity. I went with Miss Mage on you. Do you have... Yeah, you have the same thing. Okay, good. I was concerned that it would be something else. Alright, next up, Hardwood Construction for the Chariots. Armor-piercing weapon damage. This is only for Eagles and Mereworms, neither one of which we have access to right now. We could do one of these if we really wanted to. Yeah, let's just do the Pinnacle of Civilization. And then we don't have to worry about any of the ones that cost money anymore for a while. Now, you have this. And while I hate to spend the money, we're going to start recruiting some of this stuff again. Yeah, and I did want that other exam. Alright, fine. And go into Champion of Ulthuan. We'll go lead by example. We'll pop this off on you. You have no troops to level up, but the additional recruit ranks will be worth it.
Great deeds.
Imperative issued indeed. Plus, this is the only location where we can build the Exalted units, so we're going to build them here. Go for the Exalted High Elven Rangers. We could get an Exalted Silverin Guard if we wanted to for the Spear Army. Just one for now. They're a little bit costly, but it is what it is. I was going to get some Shadow Warriors in the Exalted Silverin Guard army as well. Or the Spearman army, rather. Let's get those Exalted Illyrian Reaver Archers. And you know what? Might as well just build the Exalted Illyrian Reavers. Start on the Exalted Tyrion Chariots. Do a couple of these. Let's do this for 2 turns. And the U, like so. Alright, good. They'll have to be delivered to multiple armies, but that's fine. Cadrill, since you're not getting those guys immediately, and I see no islands nearby, there's one here. We could send you to help against Morathi, though it looks like she's getting overrun. Funnily enough, by virtue of us destroying Sartosa and the Vamps, it made essentially it impossible for Morathi to win in her fights, didn't it? Which is quite interesting. It worked out nicely for us. Anyway. I guess you're going to go to knock out Morgar, then we'll have somebody else deliver you the stuff. So go to Bilbali, or close to it. We'll try to travel towards Montenas, and where Morgar is located. Admittedly, I would love to get his defeat rate on Tyrion, but at the same time, I don't necessarily want to spend 8 million years waiting for it, so let's not. You are going to build up the Lumberyard at Torsar War, the Elven Fairground at Torsar War, and for now... How much money are we making from trade? I always wonder whether it's better to go for the promenades, or whether it's go for... Admittedly, this place doesn't have great public order right now. You know what, let's go for the promenades first, and then most likely we'll eventually replace them, especially once the place is tier 5 and has the plus 10 control, but that isn't right now. Now, admittedly, that does mean next turn you want to build that. And Port Illustrator kind of in the same situation. Let's go for the plaza here.
High magic.
You're not going to be able to go here to help out at Karen Thel, even though it would be nice to reduce the cost of these, but it is what it is. You can go right here to the edge of this place. I wonder if you can still go back to the Shrine of Asuryan from here. Yes, you can. Beautiful. Go and upgrade Karen Thel, like so. And then end your turn at the Shrine of Asuryan to buff it up. And then we'll go back here immediately. Well, actually, no, we'll wait for 3 turns. Alright, fair enough. Alright, you're good. You'll stay in Rally Citizen Militia until we're ready to go to tier 4. You are good to stay here, and together with Alariel, we can make this cheaper. And then you can also return to Torsar War and bounce between these two. Perfect. Alright, that looks good to me. What else do we have here? Lequin, I already moved you, my bad. Hennermara. I was going to send you to help deal with the Cult of Pleasure, but perhaps you will deal with the Dark Elves instead, or at least start on it. Can we trust these guys to carry the day in Lustria? Maybe. Oh, and I'll have to send somebody to deal with the Vampire Coast down there as well. Alright, well, I think you're going to Lustria then. Or Lustria, you're going to the Dark Elves then, or at least to help out against them. Frankly, they have some really good landmarks. We're probably going to send Tyrion up there as well. Eventually, at least. To hopefully cast down Malekith. But the thing is, Hag Grief, this will really help us with trade, the 96 iron and marble, and this gives us plus 100% diplomatic relations with Dark Elves. Maybe one of the further away Dark Elf factions, we might actually be able to get their units. I don't know. It seems iffy, but we'll give it a try. Coral, you're stuck waiting for the Norskins. Trillion, you do need to steal tech. Steal it from Sildred Tor this time around. Plus you can keep an eye on what's going on out here. And lastly, Colin, I have not decided which army you're going to be. Oh, really? Failure? Come on. I guess regardless of which army we put you in, you can sort of leech XP, which is still beneficial. Because every one of these that reaches rank 16 gives us plus 1 control, which is really nice. You already have 2, though. You already have one that you will actually want to keep, most likely. Well, potentially, at the very least.
Sail the skies.
Also, did I build... One moment. Did I build... I did not build. I was going to build you, the Eagle Claw Boltor, which was one of the important ones. Alright, let's start on that as well. So that was the main thing that we wanted at that moment as well, and I forgot it, of course. Alright, you. You know what, just go into Billionaire's army too. We'll swap you into an army eventually. Although I suppose if we give Coral some range units, then, you know, there will be use for that as well. Anyway, diplomacy check, and then turn ending. What do we have here?
Great honor.
Alright, no further trade agreements, though we could probably force a trade agreement with some factions by virtue of allying, like Hemry and the Exiles of Nehek. Again, I want to see how you feel. Okay, so you are not liked by these guys. And by Mazda Mundi, I'm going to say no for now. Let's ally with our other elven friends, though. Defensive alliance with Emmerich. Admittedly, that might make him weaker, but if we see him dying, we'll just force confederate him.
Defender of
and go for the Order of Lore
do
Masters.
well to seek me out.
We do want the vision.
Yes,
and I know that it might make Teclis weaker, but it makes no sense not to be allied with Teclis as Tyrion.
Sail. Nerves of it.
Alright, military alliance with Cathik. I don't see any reason to... Oh, speaking of Cathik, they're actually willing to confederate. Now, they are a minor faction. They have reached rank 4.
Trained by the White
I don't really care about the minor factions, but I do care about the trade goods that they have and some of the unique settlements and stuff that they have. We could leave other major factions alone in theory. Like, I'm on the fence about confederating Nagaroth and maybe just leaving them to what they're doing out here. I most don't want every single sort of campaign to be feeling exactly the same as every other. Nonetheless, maybe we take Cathik. They're not doing super well anyway. Now they have a bunch of extra units, but we'll have to delete all of those. Free Mist Mage. Ooh. You Sapphire Guardian Phoenix. Yeah, might as
You
well.
are a beacon of order and virtue.
Can we risk them, you know, getting into wars with everybody else? No.
Our nobility
so.
is well shared.
Alright. That works
bring
nicely.
Asuryan's fire.
Province Cathedral secured. You can keep, I guess, the Blessed Grove here. Ally Outpost lost. Let's immediately go into Rebuild Lost Splendor. That
High
once again
Elves
screwed
in
our
Harsh
income.
Age.
You are a Uniped. Completely useless. No Herald of Mathland for you, and we'll reset your skill points. We'll use you as a troop carrier. You, Mist Mage, protected. It's fine. The missile resistance makes it decent for when you're on a Skycutter or something like that, so we can actually keep you. I don't think you... Flyer. Speed for Great Eagles and Skycutters, basically an inferior version of the stuff, the same trait that Arathond has. It's not horrible, but it's also not that useful. Especially since we already have that type of army.
Magic.
And then... Analyze.
I
You
see
have
the
Thinker.
winds.
Which ain't so bad, but obviously we're
You
going
may
to be
approach.
deleting you. Colin, yeah, so it's just you two, right? I think we're just deleting everybody here. Minus the Mist
Defender of
Mage.
the Phoenix throne.
And we're going to pop the Mist Mage into an army. So Mist Mage, go out here.
On the move.
Could keep some of the Silvern Guard if we really wanted to, rather than recruiting them. The thing is, these guys are reasonably high rank, but...
Prince of Ulthuan.
Go here. Swap some of these. We'll give you the War Lions. Like so. This way you'll have 4 War Lions. Swap out 3 Spearmen for Silvern Guard. Swap out the Archers, more Rangers. I almost never use Rangers in campaigns, which is why I'm going a little bit more Ranger heavy this time around. If you're wondering what's up with all the Rangers, Ruinous. And I believe it's still 22. Okay, get rid of these. Alright, then you have piles of Rangers, Eagles, War Lions, and Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers. Anything else we want to trade from this line? I mean, we could give you more Silvern Guard, but these guys are rank 5. It's not bad. I guess we can just keep the Silvern Guard. Yeah, again, we can't keep too many troops. It'll be too costly.
Ulthuan's
At least
archmage.
until we can start taking more territory. No Herald of Mathland for you. You can be disbanded. Bye. You can sit in Mistnar until we trade this to Corhill, who's suddenly getting his army up and running. And I guess, since we have the Warhol here... Wait, not the... Huh? Since we have this thing here, we could also get some White Lions. They will be a little bit more costly to recruit, but it's possible. Oh! We could actually straight up upgrade this to the Blessed Grove. That's actually a good idea. Alright, we'll need construction reduction here, though. So, Leia Quinn, I fear that you're going to have to move now, because this is going to be very expensive. So let's go end your turn here at Torsar War. You can still reduce the cost of this.
Archmage.
Then you can pass through the Shrine of Kurnos and these places. And then I guess we'll start trying to move the Everqueen this way as well. Alright, I guess that's what we're doing. Alright, didn't expect that end turn, or pre-end turn, to do all of that extra stuff, but that's what happened. We can still upgrade the Elven Fairground. I mean, it's one turn anyway, and it'll pay for itself effectively, so it won't matter. And then, frankly, the same thing can be said of the Hunting Ground. Here, I think we'll build the first level of the Promenade. Here, we are waiting to build... Well, we can build the Salt Flats at the very least. And hold off on everything else. We most likely will not need the defensive garrison at Mistnar after a little bit, and frankly, neither the Warhall, although this isn't too bad, to be perfectly honest. This is the place most likely to get attacked by Grom, and it being super defensible, it's kind of nice. We can actually then get rid of the Warhall here instead. Although, the additional Shadow Warrior capacity might allow us to build a few more for the Spear Army. Yeah, you know what, keep it. We just need the influence in order to build that up. Alright, now we're good. I believe, to end the turn. I'm also hoping that we can get an alliance with Kislev for relatively soon. 1, Snow Leopards, more kitties. 2, Elemental Bears, and... anything else in their roster that we would like?
Without fear.
Apparently, what you want? Military Alliance. No. I don't trust you not to declare war on somebody random. Before we're ready, at any rate. Oh, Frostworms also would work. Definitely kitties. Snow Leopards should, in theory, fit nicely in with the War Lions. And I believe we've had several requests for an all-cat army. And either Corhill or... hello. I gotta say, I wasn't expecting that, but I'm pleasantly surprised. I was gonna say we go hunt down Wulfric, but it looks like we don't need to. Ooh, we do have to worry about the Chaos Frost Dragon scale. He's on his chariot, though, but we are at half HP. Interesting. Go.
Will you bring shame and defeat to the king? No! Victory is our only choice.
Alrighty, here we go. Looks like Wulfric wants to play as well. Perhaps he heard how Tyrion cast down Be'lakor and wants a piece of the action himself. Although I really doubt that he would. Lore-wise, I mean. But anyway, he has got decent stats, but he's no Be'lakor. A. B. Be'lakor had 2.5 times as much HP as Tyrion does. Wulfric has roughly the same amount, well, at max. Yeah, roughly the same amount at max. Not at max, however, Tyrion starts the battle with 50% of his HP, but against the Chariot Lord, I think he'll have no trouble. Anyway, we're going to start the battle off as usually do with Fire and Lightning coming in from our Heavens Mage. Again, eventually to be replaced by a Fire Mage in this army, because I feel like it'll be more appropriate. Plus, Kindle Flame will allow Tyrion to do even more damage. You gotta remember that. And Tyrion himself will try to go through the enemy army and get to dueling Mr. Wulfric. There we go. And to make sure that Wulfric doesn't run past him, we're going to force him into Rampage while we activate the Curse of Anarion ourselves. I'm going to buff up with the Harmonic Convergence, massively increasing Tyrion's stats. Again, we put him in a very dangerous situation once again, and we're not going to let him die since he's at 50% HP. Wulfric rapidly drops to about 25% of his with 3 blows. A 4th blow takes him down to 10%. A Mammoth moves to help him, but I don't think he's surviving this one. Alright, in the meantime, the rest of the enemy army closes the distance. We positioned our units of ships companies in the water, while our archers not in the water. Because obviously the ships companies are aquatic, and why not take advantage of that? We've done the same thing with our Lothern Sea Guard, which also fight in the water, while the rest of our non-aquatic units fire down from the beach. And it's working quite well. The enemy does hit us with the Gehenna's Golden Hounds as we get off the beach. It looks like poor Wulfric defeated soundly and booking it on out of there, while Caradrian and the Noble work to tag team the Fimir Noble here. I don't know why I phrased it like that, but the Noble is pretty much done for, and one more hit will bring it low. There we go. The Mammoth was there as well, but unfortunately we're rock, paper, scissors in pretty hard, and the Keepers of the Flame, a Phoenix Guard, obliterated the poor Pharaoh Mammoth. In the same way that Caradrian and the Noble took down the Noble, and the same way that Tyrion took down Wulfric. Though Tyrion, I like how he's posing near the Mammoth, which he did nothing to help kill. Yeah, see, if Wulfric had had his own War Mammoth mount at this point, he would have had the same kind of HP advantage that Be'lakor would, and it would have been much tougher. But in this particular case, there was no need. His own army, by the looks of it, is pretty much broken. The enemy's gonna get one last searing doom just as the army breaks, and only the Brutes of the Hound remain, as those Berserkers are unbreakable. Unfortunately for them, the company of the Calendarian will cut the last of them down, especially together with the Keepers of the Flame. Ooh, there we go. Brutal execution for that poor Berserker. And with that, no, there is one more. Everybody's targeting who's gonna get the kill, and it looks like one of the one of the Keepers of the Flame just sort of run through him. Lovely. Another victory and another legendary lord cast down. Huh. I don't remember what Wulfric's defeat trait is. Let's find out. Alrighty, there we go. I don't know what the Wulfric's plan is, but I applaud him for the attempt. I absolutely love Wulfric as a character because, I don't know, his whole story is just hilarious. It's just got so drunk that he got himself into a situation where he has to keep fighting deadlier and deadlier foes, and it's just incredible. And contrary to what the game makes him seem like, you know, and super powerful. I mean, he does have some gifts of the gods, but he's not like Archaon or somebody crazy like that. They would just explode him with no problem whatsoever. He's more or less just a guy with some gifts, but yeah, the whole got too drunk and insulted the gods is just fantastic. Anyway, Tyrion, 22k damage, solid work and knocking out poor Wulfric on that chariot. We've also got solid 146 kills and 9.5k damage on the, I guess, not so freshly drafted anymore. This is probably also one of the last fights where Tyrion will be using the High Elven archers rather than additional cavalry, and our Silver Helms are doing pretty good with 19k damage and 154 kills. Really got to get that Gate Guard few units for Tyrion. I was just going to go straight to Exalted Gate Guard for Tyrion himself, but it's taken a while. Anyway, Tweedy with 40,000 will soon hopefully, Warhammer 40,000 damage, and will soon hopefully be joined with a second Phoenix, and this should give us a Shtari, unless I'm mistaken, as we should be up to rank 12. We'll take the 3.2k. We still can't heal Tyrion, so why not? And Confederation between Salat... Faction destroyed Clan Pestilence. Oh my. Confederation, Last Defenders, and Zlatlan. Interesting. Well, looks like it was a good decision to get the trade agreement with the Last Defenders because they just got stronger. Unless Zlatlan confederated them, but I don't think that's the case. Alright, another moment where we wait to see if Tyrion gets wounded by the Helm of Dreska. Defeated Wulfric the Wanderer. Hey, there's Bellicor. Ooh, can't reach him, can you? You can, but he'll probably sail away. But nonetheless, you were going out there anyway. Federation, Clan Pestilence, Grimgor Zard Boys, something, and decent likelihood he actually lands here, but if he does, he'll die, so it doesn't matter. Oh! This puts us into attrition territory? Oh, how dare you, AI. Obnoxious. Enemy killed in battle, Scroll of Lycos, Fractured Clasp. Hello. -5 melee attack, eh? Well, that'll certainly come in handy, but that means the Convoy survived. And a Shtari for Caradrian. Minstrel, Pinnacle of Civilization. The Phoenix Crown, we'll give that a read in a little bit. Convoy completed Ingmir, well done. And he's got 2 War Lions. He's earned those War Lions. Alrighty. And I guess that means we immediately send another convoy. So that was the Star Tower. We are still heading... Wait. No, that was the Citadel of Dusk. We're still heading to the Great Turtle Isle. We will make a new convoy, however, and sail it to... Where haven't we been? We've been to Bordelot. We could attempt to go to Marienburg or Altdorf, or maybe Maraglianum and Kofar. Alright, either way. Also, what do we have here? Servant of Isha? Oh! We got more Forest Spirit ones. Naval Artillerist. It's just... That's it. It's just 2 Eagle Claws. I'm more interested in the ones that give us units that we don't generally use. Though again, with you able to travel, I'm inclined to send you out because you are rank 6. You're our best ranked guy and you need to level more, so for now, I have to send you. We have been to Arnheim. We could actually go to the Monoliths. We could risk the Dark Elf waters. I don't know if that's worth it. Go to Maragliano for now, I think. 5 turns as well, so it's not too far. Like so. Actually, then we should wait before declaring war on Morgar and Pestilence. We should maybe save Bretonia. Alright, dispatch for now. Away you go. Alrighty, and oh yeah, don't request. We need the influence desperately for more patronage positions. For now, though, I do believe we are out of time, folks, and I am going to call this particular episode here. Can you move forward a teensy bit more, buddy?
Until next time.
Still on attrition. Oh well. Yeah, I'm going to call the episode here. We had some great fights against the champions of chaos in this particular episode, but most importantly, we have rejoined the world and now have vision over all the waters, considering we're doing a fairly convoy-heavy run in the sense that I'm hoping to visit every single location. I definitely am glad to see that we can keep an eye on what's going on out here and where the islands are. So maybe we'll try to suss out the location of another couple of Skull Islands, as we're about to start spending a lot more money on more armies and stuff, and we'll need to continue building up our economy. I actually don't see a lot of Skull Islands around. Ooh! This is Gentleman Jenkins having revived. Yeah, see, he is kind of in the way of where we potentially would be. Hold on, what's the likelihood we could get you to declare war on him?
I shall judge your plea and see if it is wanted.
Oh, we can't? Okay, that's annoying. But it is what it is. We're probably going to have to send one of our armies after him, but that'll have to be something we do later or next time. So stay tuned for more Tyrion, especially later today if we do the second episode. All glory to the algorithm. Likes and comments below. And thanks for watching.